This is the show that we're doing, and it's really, really good. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
It's a show.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 16 of Ben and Marshall Do a Podcast, the official podcast of the YouTube channel that we continue to hardly use. I have I finally made videos out of all of the podcasts that I haven't put on YouTube yet.
Nice.
And I spent like forever just getting those, not uploading, but exporting.
Right.
Because
with your super fast, nice processor.
Yeah, well, I wish I had sprung for just the one step up, but I'll live.
Yeah, so I've had to export a lot of stuff because I was exporting these ASMR videos in 4K, courtesy of this camera right here. Look at this bad boy, dude. One of my favorite things about this camera.
If you're listening on an audio medium, we are recording this one on video, and Ben's got
we
a
hate you.
Nice, sexy camera going on.
Dude, look how this thing handles like lens flare. I can get like some this lens is freaking intense.
Let's see how my my webcam does. Pretty good. Good.
So this is $2,000 in front of a sensor, and that's 50 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so it's a fun little camera. Anyways, I had to do a lot of exports, and I was proud of my little boy PC for cranking out these 4K exports in a pretty decent amount of time. Probably like almost 1-to-1. It was crazy. Maybe a little.
Gotta get that 3090, baby.
1.5 to 1. Yeah.
3090,
oh, dude,
baby.
the 30. Dude, I'm excited. I'm gonna build a PC. I'm calling it within the next 6 months. Your boy's gonna have like his dream PC. It's happening. I'm gonna get a 30. I don't know. I kind of want to get a 3090. But how much are the 3090s?
I think they were like 1,000, maybe 13. I don't know, 1,300.
Yeah, that's too much. I'll get a 3080 then.
Yeah.
And put her in there, and then get a nice new Ryzen CPU. Get I already have 64 gigs of RAM, or 32 or something. I don't know. It was a lot. Thanks. Shout out to Bill Grip, for selling me that. I got an SSD already, so I just need a motherboard, and then we're gonna be rocking.
And I just need 3080s to come back in stock.
Yeah, I found some really cool RGB cable wraps for the power supply, so you can have RGB going into your graphics card and stuff, and it pulses and flows through the cables. Pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm gonna RGB it out. I mean, what do you think? What is your what do you think about RGB? Because my take is RGB is kind of whack unless you go all out. You know what I mean? It's cool when it's all put together, but just in little if you don't do it right, it's not necessarily cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I know that you're all for RGB. It's not. I just don't.
RGB is not cool at all, dude. I hate RGB. You can tell that I would not be. I'm not a fan of RGB anything.
Yeah. This is another visual gag. It's for the audio listeners again. Ben is now pointing to his light pulsing room around him.
I put an extra effort for you guys on the video side, so I feel like I like you guys better now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens if we keep doing video things. Well, I'll explain what's going to happen if we're going to keep doing video things. But we'll see. I'll explain. We'll get there. But why did I start talking about this?
I might have peaked
How did we
there,
get here?
To be honest.
It happens. How do we get to this point? What was I saying?
No clue.
I don't know. Let's get into the news.
News. Wait.
Welcome to the news segment.
I'll transition to the Casey Neistat setup for apartment news.
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Somber note to start the news out on. Just a couple days ago, this Saturday, it was announced that Sir Sean Connery had passed away. I believe he was 90.
That's a pretty good life. That's a pretty good life.
Yeah, that's freaking old. In stark contrast to Chadwick Boseman or there was another one fairly recently that was just 50 years old. It's geez, but no, 90 years first. Old.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take 90 years. I feel like that's a good amount of time to be alive,
Yeah. And I know that you're not insanely well versed in cinema necessarily, but what you got any top favorite Sean Connery roles?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I definitely know I've seen some movies with him in it, and I liked it. But yeah, I don't know. I think even if you haven't seen the James Bond movies, they were an influential part of cinema, and I think he was an influential part of that. And so
he was the first one.
You have to respect, you have to respect what he kind of built there. And anytime you take any franchise, I think you just take for granted James Bond now, but they made it a successful.
I think No Time to Die is Bond 25.
That's wildly successful, and then
nuts
to have them all be pretty good. Like they're not.
I'd say like 2/3 are.
That's what I guess. That's what I mean.
At least passable.
Okay, but out of 25 movies,
yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen a good chunk of them, and I do enjoy all the ones that I've seen. And that's the thing too. Even the ones like Tomorrow Never Dies, which is just I believe the one that killed the franchise with Pierce Brosnan. It's still kind of just a fun, stupid movie,
right?
But I don't know. It is, he was in so many things. He was Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade, which is one of my favorite roles of his. It shows off how funny that man could be. He was in Highlander, which I have not seen the first Highlander or any of the Highlander movies. I know that there can only be one. And I know that it's Scottish. It is... Sean Connery has this weird thing that happened a few times in his career where he, a Scotsman who can't do any other accent, plays a character that is specifically a character that would have a specific accent, such as Highlander when he played a Spaniard, and he's like dressed up that way and everything, but he's still like got a Scottish accent, or The Hunt for Red October, where he's a Russian submarine captain who's defecting, but he's still he's doing this weird bad Russian accent. It's still a great movie, but it's just like this weird thing. Oh man. But The Man Who Would Be King? The Man Who Would Be King is a fantastic movie. The Road to El Dorado, if you've seen that animated movie, it's the exact same story.
Nice.
And then there's a movie recently called The Kid Who Would Be King, which was like, I'm 10 years old and I'm going to be King Arthur. And it has nothing to do at all with the plot of this movie.
You remember Kid President?
I do remember Kid President. That was Wayne Wilson's thing.
No. There was like the kid who was going to be president. Like there was a kid... Remember, like
the little black
election?
kid?
Yeah,
Kid President. That was Rainn Wilson's company, Soul Pancake.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
He was a part of that. It wasn't like a corporate thing, but he was like a part of that eventually.
Okay.
He did those inspiring videos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that kid. I want to look that up now. Wow, I forgot about that.
I feel like that's what we need right now.
We need Kid President. And I feel like we have a Kid President.
I was going to say...
Whoa!
It's election day time. So we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about it because that's not what this show's about. That's a callback to episode 1.
Yeah. What is this show about? Do we even know?
Next piece of news. This is what the show's about right now is Oscar Isaac of Star Wars fame, our favorite underdeveloped character, Poe Dameron, has been cast as Moon Knight in a Marvel Disney Plus series. Now, you probably don't know anything about Moon Knight. He's a pretty unknown character. He's very often compared to Batman, but it's not exactly one-to-one. He's really kind of a weird, insane man who... This is the skinny. Mark Spector is a mercenary who is doing a job in Egypt. He gets killed and is supposedly brought back to life by the moon god Khonshu. And he believes that that's true, and he has like multiple personalities. But then there's different versions of it where is he just an insane man or is all of that true? And you don't really know. And I've got a few trades back there, a few trade paperbacks from a more recent
here in my garage where
fantastic.
I've installed 20 bookshelves because I read all my books.
I do. I have read all those books, mostly.
No, I'm just making fun of Ty Lopez.
Oh, I know.
Shout out Ty Lopez.
Everyone's favorite influencer.
Yeah, go buy a course from him.
Go buy a Corvette from him.
Totally works. I endorse it 1,000%.
But yeah, Moon Knight's cool. I think Oscar Isaac is a really good casting because he's a fantastic actor, which wasn't showcased unfortunately in Star Wars, but he's been fantastic in everything else that he's ever done. Next piece of news. Speaking about James Bond, Apple and I think a few other corporations are looking to purchase No Time to Die because up to this point there's been a lot of time to die. It just keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed. MGM's like, we want to preserve the theater experience, and the world says we don't want to go to the theaters right now. So
hey, We don't care. We just want to see the movie because...
Yeah. It's all about the money, though. The money, money, money.
It's all about the money. You're right.
And it's an interesting thing where, like, certain movies have released direct-to-video. Like, Bill and Ted went that way. Trolls 2 went that way. There were a couple other that were more notable that did that, too. And there were some, like, theater chains that were super, super upset about it, came out against it and everything. Because, I mean, that is their business.
That is true.
But it's a weird kind of, like, catch-22 of...
A catch-35.
Yeah. Like, what do you do then?
Yeah, I don't know.
These people need to make money. The theaters need to make money. No one's going to go to the
theaters.
That's
a quandary.
It is a quandary. So, I don't know. I don't...
Sounds like a situation you have to pick the least worst option in, which is never good.
Yeah. It's election day! That's not what the show's about. But I don't know. I went and saw Tenet. There was like 0 people in the theater. I ate a pizza. It was fun. It was a good time. I forgot how fun theaters are. Just like going and seeing a thing on the big screen. It's just a fun experience. I enjoy it. I don't know that I care enough about James Bond to go see it in the theaters regardless. Like I'd probably just wait until it came out anyway. Yeah,
100%. So yeah, then at the same time, then you're kind of like, does it really do too much? I mean, sure, you lose a little bit, but like, you weren't going to have it
like,
anyways
just put
at
it
this
out.
point.
Just give it to me.
I don't know.
It's Daniel Craig's last one. Just throw it at me.
Just put it on my face.
Put it on my face. I want to see it right there. It's too close so I can't see it. Kind of hand in hand with that, AMC has reported that they... EAMC, it's in the theaters, has reported that...
It's in the theater.
It's in the theater. Unlike Americans are not. But they have had a 90.9, or I think... Yeah, 90.9 drop in revenue. 99.9% drop in revenue since the pandemic and everything, which is insane.
It's almost like there's a better option for media consumption, and theaters are a relic of old society that isn't necessarily bad and is inherently has some good characteristics, but is just objectively outdated. And the business model hasn't worked for a long time. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I mean, really, they don't make any money showing the movies. They make money selling beverages and snacks. That's just how movies.
Well, and that's the same thing with why, like, Martin Scorsese was railing against the Marvel movies and all that. It's all that same conversation,
right?
I don't know. They were already supposedly dying, and this certainly didn't help. 2 more pieces of news. There was a trailer for Invincible, which there's the 2 big compendiums right there are Invincible. There's one more of those. It's a really cool comic book series written by the guy who did The Walking Dead, and it's probably my favorite comic of all time. It's incredible. Ooh. And the voice cast is wild. The main character is Stephen Yeun from The Walking Dead. His dad is J.K. Simmons. Mark Hamill is in this. Britta from Community is in this. Like, the voice cast is insane. Seth Rogen, Jason Mantzoukas. He's going to play Alan the Alien, which is insanely perfect casting.
Yeah.
But that trailer looked really good. It's been a while since it came out, since this episode's been so delayed, but looks really good. I'm excited about it. And last piece of news, John Boyega has been speaking to Disney. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff related today. John Boyega has been speaking to Disney after his statements against them in a recent interview. Do you know about this?
I feel like I heard it. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't hear this part.
Yeah. This is fresh and brand new. But the original story is basically that he did an interview with like GQ or Variety or someone.
Right. I think I heard the interview is what I'm saying.
Yeah. He brought up the treatment of Finn in that trilogy and how he was built up to be this super important character and all the marketing, the promotional images and everything. And then immediately after The Force Awakens was just like sidelined and gone. And he talked a lot about how like building up a character who is a person of color and all of this stuff as an important character. Like they're going to be the center of this franchise that hasn't historically had a lot of representation in general. And then just like shunting them to the side and then doing the same thing with Rose even more intensely in the next one Rose is a little different, I would say, just because she wasn't really that good of a character in the first place, but Finn had so much built into him
Well, here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I think I think the idea and on paper sounds good, right? It's like, let's have a more diverse cast, right? So that is just that's good. That's an inherently good option, right? So you look at that on a piece of paper, which is what the studio execs, the people in charge who are in charge of the largest franchise in the entire world. And they're all right. So do that. How do we implement that? So that goes through a crap ton of bureaucracy, and then it gets down to some casting director who gets told, okay, we want to have diversity, so you need to find somebody with diversity. So then, as far as the art goes, that gets sacrificed because it's not true diversity when you're just putting it in there, if that makes sense. And so I feel like what he's saying is they intentionally brought, they in the marketing material, they made it look like, oh, hey, we're doing this good thing, when the whole time they had no real intention of doing that. And that could be a disconnect from the corporate side of things and Disney, and then the people actually making the movie and trying to tell a story. Because I think, again, when you try and force that narrative in there, then that's going to take away inherently from what the actual story is. And you see all these characters that try to be these, like, I feel like it almost is like more of an injustice, in my opinion. And that's why I'm saying this, because look at Rose, for instance. In my opinion, not a great character, and I feel like she was only there to like it just felt like there were or more accurately, the blue-haired lady, right, who like tells Poe, like, it just felt like while I'm watching the movie, I'm like, why am I being told, why is this a statement on something? I came to watch Star Wars, which is fine, and it's like I don't mind having that conversation, but when you look at what Star Wars is, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to get into what Star Wars is, but you know what I mean. What telling any story is, when you have to put those things in there, it takes away a lot of creative freedom, And so I think the last 3 episodes are a result of not having a cohesive vision for what they wanted to be. Whereas even the prequels, they had George Lucas, and so he could at least point them in a direction to go. And while they're maybe not the most technically impressive today, I still think that they have a great story. And objectively, when you compare them to the last 3, they are way, way better.
Yeah, I would more or less agree. Generally.
Right. It felt like the first movie was like, okay, this isn't bad, but it better get better. And then it just didn't. So
yeah,
that's kind of how it felt.
I still really liked The Force Awakens. I feel like it was an amazing, just like, boom, Star Wars is back. It's great, and we're going to have fun with it. And then they just didn't follow through on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think was a lot of just not the casting, the choice of hiring Rian Johnson as the director of The Last Jedi. Because Rian Johnson is a guy who is known for making these fantastic standalone sci-fi stories that are really, really good. And the idea of hiring him is a really cool idea, and I'd love to see him do his Star Wars movie. And supposedly, he's still getting his own trilogy at some point. I don't know. I don't think that's been canceled, unlike the Benioff and Weiss, the Game of Thrones guys. They're not doing theirs anymore.
Right, okay.
And definitely not because Game of Thrones was really bad in the end. That's not why. They want to do other projects. They don't want to work on the most famous franchise of all time that they've talked about how much they love.
Right.
They didn't get fired because Game of Thrones ended in a hellfire.
Strange.
The point is, though, it's crazy that they gave Rian Johnson the second movie.
Right.
He should have started this out and then let someone else kind of like move forward with that vision who was good at doing that kind of thing, but that's just not what happened. But I don't know. Star Wars historically has worked best when there hasn't been interference, which is why The Empire Strikes Back is probably still the best one, is because George couldn't get his fingers on it because
right.
Oh gosh, who directed it? I can't remember off the top of my head, but the director of that one shot it in such a specific way that George couldn't change it in the edit. So that movie is exactly what the director was intending it to be, as close as it could be. Because George was notorious for trying to get everything to be exactly the way he wanted it, which is then why, the prequels didn't quite fare as well, because he kept just futzing with them more and more, and it kept getting more and more of a mess. And there's even a moment in this documentary about the making of The Phantom Menace where they just first screened it for the first time for him and all the producers. And he turns to the main guy, the executive producer, and he's like, I may have gone too far with this one. And then it's like they have this whole conversation about like, well, we can't go back now. It's like, because this part is integral to that, and this is integral to that, but that's no good. And it's this weird thing of inside baseball of like, they're literally talking about how the movie isn't good, but they can't change it. And, like, they knew, and they still released this little documentary?
That's weird.
Hilarious to me. But I don't know. Star Wars is Star Wars, and it's whatever.
I'm going to be honest, though, man. I low-key, the prequels, in my opinion, and this is not saying that they're inherently whatever better or worse, like in filmmaking terms or anything. I'm literally just talking about if I'm going to watch a Star Wars movie and I could watch any of them, which one am I going to watch? I'm probably going to start with the third one. You know what I mean?
Really?
And then, yeah.
Huh.
I just really like it. I don't know why.
I mean, if I was going to choose one of the prequels, it would be that one. But if you're saying watch any Star Wars movie.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I like the clone part of stuff. Like I like the clone part of Star Wars a lot, or like the Galactic Republic side.
Yeah. Man, we should. You want to play Battlefront after this?
Oh my god, yes! Oh,
I'm feeling it, dude.
I think I have it downloaded too.
Yeah, we had the same thought process. Oh, that's great.
I feel like didn't we play it when you had the 1070 and then I had this? I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Do I not have
we can handle it?
Here?
Well,
I definitely can handle it.
That's the news.
That is the news. I'm glad that was a fun little news segment.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, is there more news?
I looked up some news. I don't know. Is there?
I don't know.
Is there more news?
It's probably more news. I mean,
wait a second. Is there more news? Wink. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
Oh yeah, I'm. So are we doing that now?
I think so.
Okay,
unless
cool.
you have extra.
Hello, everybody.
News.
Welcome to the video boy. Oh wait, hold on. Is it Casey Neistat time?
What? Is it?
What?
What about Jonathan?
Who's Jonathan?
Fiverr guy. That's his name.
Oh. Okay. See, guys, I'm a little out of practice. Don't worry about it.
It's been about a month. Yeah,
whatever. So there's a new segment, the best segment on this show that will ever be on this show. It's called Apartment News, and let's hand it over to our big boy Jonathan in the stands or in the booth.
Apartment News, your number one source for news about Ben and Marshall's apartment. And now your host, live on Linux, Benjamin Earl Weber.
Welcome Whoa, I just hit the microphone. Welcome
Thanks,
everybody.
Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan. Welcome everybody to Apartment.
Oh.
Hold on. Whoa, let's not do that. Welcome everybody to Apartment News. I guess there is news in the apartment. I'm currently looking for a new apartment. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's apartment news. I got groceries yesterday. I'm trying to cook everything this week that I eat in my house
to some degree.
Oh no. Okay, let me double check the recording on Audition. Oh wait, can I do that with pausing it? Shoot.
Casey Neistat mode has betrayed you.
Welcome to Apartment News. Let me tell you about my apartment. Today, I am in it. This is my room. Welcome. Excuse me. Welcome back to my room. For those of you who've seen the other video podcast. But as far as the apartment goes, I got some groceries, so we're stocked up. The fridge is real full right now. I got me a nice little steak yesterday. I sent Marshall a picture of the steak. Marshall,
nice.
what would you rate the picture of the steak out of 10?
I give it 10 goats out of 9.
10 goats out of 9. That's a lot of goats. Let me tell you. I'm gonna zoom back in for this now, because steak is serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
yeah, we had steak. I had steak. I made some steak. I made some asparagus. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, asparagus. Long green boys. It's Junior from the
VeggieTales.
VeggieTales. I was gonna say Salad Show, but close enough. It was one of those. I ate little Junior asparagus. Anyways.
Oh no.
Other than that, Archibald. I did eat Archibald too. Well, they were kind of junior asparagus. I don't want to say asparaguses. I feel like asparagus is better.
Yeah. It's very warm in my room. Oh my gosh.
Anyways, so is that your apartment news? Oh, did you got a little apartment news?
I do?
Yeah, did you talk about your little heater boy?
Yeah, I got a space heater.
Hey, tell us how that's changed your life.
It's totally changed my life. I don't even have my heated blanket on my bed anymore. I put it back in the closet. Like, I can just turn it on, and when it's like 70 degrees out and nice like this, I get warm without it even on right now. Yeah, which is rough. But you
can turn the temp down.
I can?
I can go turn it down for you. I mean, on the thermostat. Do you have circulation in your room?
I'm supposed to.
Same. But I have a space heater as well, and that changed my life. I can tell you that.
Well, space heater is amazing. I love it. It's incredible. It's all great.
I think I talked about the space heater on the podcast, man.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so yeah, there you go. That's pretty much my apartment news. I might be finding a new apartment soon, so keep updated on my apartment news.
Send any details you have of locations to
I'll tag
DM
you.
Pod Ben and Marshall Pod at gmail.com.
Preferably duplexes, maybe a house, not necessarily an apartment.
Triplex,
quadplex,
quadruplex, quintuplaplex.
Yeah.
Quintuplex. AMC
movie theaters
has
are an
the
option.
Movies. Movie theaters, move into an old abandoned school, maybe a big
hospital?
swimming pool with you put a tarp
Plenty
over
of
the
lockers.
top. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's some apartment news. The other apartment news is my parents are officially buying the house, I believe.
Congratulations.
That is a real thing that's happening.
It's a house.
However long. Congratulations, it's a house. So yeah, I'm going to continue to
have a gender reveal party for your house.
It's a house, and then it burns down.
Oh no!
Oh no,
California! Which color is the flamethrower gonna be? That's what.
Oh gosh,
the most dangerous. So Corridor Digital should make like a gender reveal video, but make it like
actually that's genius.
That would be really funny. I feel like they would kill that concept.
Yeah, man. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I mean, with like their world's biggest lightsaber and stuff like that.
Right. That's
world's largest
in that exact same. Reveal. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that'd be funny. They're Mr. Beastifying their content.
They are. So
that's how it went on YouTube right now.
Most of it I enjoy.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a quick sec?
Yeah, sure.
What do you think? So we've been longtime viewers of the Corridor Digital Crew channel. Well, now it's called the Crew channel. It used to be called Sam and Nico. If you're a real OG, because I used to watch all the BTS on there.
Shoot your friends.
The bits. Yeah, shoot your friends. All that good stuff. And then they started doing vlogs, and honestly, that was probably the best content on YouTube that I've ever seen for that 2-year period where it was just vlogs of like what was going on in the studio, and that was pretty sick. That was awesome. Then it obviously got old after a while. They had to innovate, and then I think they've kind of tried to merge Node a little bit with it now, and it's like all one thing, and they're hiring a bunch of new people, so there's new characters, which is good because I'm glad they're growing. But selfishly, it's like this isn't the old thing anymore, and now they're with their online service, which I haven't checked out, but I kind of want to because it's maybe cool. That's where they're putting their really good content. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
This is, I think that they kind of went really far one direction with it, and then there was kind of a visceral reaction of people being like, we want like the vlogs back. We miss the more like impersonal or the more personal like style of these videos. Like that was.
They tried to do like The Office that one time, and I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah, and I think they haven't gone like all the way back the other direction necessarily, but they're definitely like they headed back towards that kind of content. And I would say the stuff that isn't like Ren's science videos or whatever, whoever reacts stuff, generally still leans that way, and I still really enjoy. They still come up with like fun like little videos, like when they made the Zen zone.
Yeah, that was pretty
Sam
fun.
made the Zen
Yeah.
zone for and he's like
was
just
so
walking
good.
around in it the whole time.
It's such a good. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go check it out. It's a corridor crew video where so the objective of the video was Clint, one of their editors. He needed to relax. He needed to zone out and kind of have a way to do that. But what if you could do that at work? And what if you could do that in like 10 minutes? What if you could just be fully recharged? So Sam made him the ultimate virtual reality experience in which it had all of Clint's wildest fantasies, from being in a Zen garden to what were the other little bits?
I don't even know,
and
like
pieces?
birds or something.
I think he actually like lit like incense.
He made a list of things.
Yeah. Anyway, so he incorporated all of those things in a VR space, and it was very well done, and it was a fun video.
Very funny. I don't know. I think I generally really do still enjoy the stuff that they're putting out now that they've kind of gone back the other direction. Some of the different people react stuff I don't really care about as much.
I guess what I'm saying is like it's not bad. It's just different, And I guess I just don't. I'm more nostalgic for what it was, and the reality is it just can't be that anymore. So
just the unfortunate side of just it's a business and business has to be business.
Yeah.
So I really really enjoyed Tactical 3 Loads though. Tactical 3 Loads might have been my favorite of the videos.
Is that?
They made a third one. Did you not know about the third one?
Maybe not.
Dude,
let's find out.
It's so good.
We could do a react.
Ooh.
For the video people.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this. Oh yeah, with Black Rifle Coffee Co.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
So good. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, I've seen it. I was like, wait, how have I not seen a Corridor video? It's weird how many people like say that they were inspired by Corridor Digital though, like to get into filmmaking and stuff.
Like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, like Christopher Nolan. Anyways,
Steven Spielberg.
Let's hop on to the next topic.
And Stanley Kubrick.
Yes, Stanley Kubrick. George
He
Lucas.
always talked about how his favorite video was Lag in Real Life.
Yeah, that's true. That
by Bill
famous video.
Just
it just so nails good. What filmmaking is.
It's just cinema at its best. That's facts. Look at that focus pulling. Ooh, visual gags. But hey, thanks for the apartment news. Go Jonathan.
Man, I'm so glad we have Jonathan.
Thanks for taking us out, Jonathan. I love you.
My man.
I'll see you next time, buddy. So, we watched a movie.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah.
Like a month ago.
It was a bit ago. I'm hoping that I'm going to remember my little nuanced thoughts at this point.
Right, exactly. It's like I know generally what I want to say.
Yeah. So, we watched Good Will Hunting.
You want to run through that?
The movie Good Will Hunting, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Minnie Driver. Is that the girl? I think so.
I think you're right.
Robin Williams, Stellan Skarsgård.
When I watched it, I think I Googled her and I was like, "Is she still hot? What does she look like today?" And I was like, "Yeah, that looks about right."
I don't find her that attractive.
I guess I understand why her character is attractive, but in real life, I don't know if I find her that attractive.
Yeah,
like if she was the person in that movie, I would be attracted to her. But
extremely angular.
It's kind of. I mean, I don't know. I don't hate it. Like. I'd say in the movie. Well, okay, what would you rate her out of 10 in the movie? Like character, not like as Minnie Driver, but like as her character.
As a character, like
including all of the things that you were just talking. No. I mean, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot is she?
Like personality wise, is that what you're saying?
Just 1 to 10, how hot is she?
I guess 7.
Okay, what about, is that accounting for looks?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what does a 7 mean to you?
I don't know, I just think she's got kind of an angular, weird face that I find slightly strange.
That's about right. Maybe like an 8.5. Yeah. She's kind of tall, too, so I don't know, personally.
You're 2 feet tall.
I'm not very tall. Bill Griffin towers over me.
That's true, and he's very small.
Yeah, he's even smaller than
physically
I am.
and emotionally.
He almost is. I'm even smaller than he is.
Whoa, nice.
But you know who's a big boy?
Who?
Ian.
Matt Damon? Oh, big boy Ian. Yes. But we watched this movie, and it's a good movie. It's a classic, directed by Gus Van Sant.
Well, one of my all-time favorites.
It is a good, yeah. And I'm going to talk about it real quick here. I want to go through the plot, and then we'll talk about it. Are you ready?
Ka-chow. Let's hear it, buddy.
Ka-chow. So, Gus Van Sant's name arrives twice in the credits as director, and that tracks. Yeah. He's a mildly full of himself, artsy kind of guy.
Classic Gus.
Classic Mr. Gus. We open at college, taught by Stellan Skarsgård. At some point, I pivot to saying their character names because I couldn't remember what they were at this point. But it's actor names for a bit, and sorry. I apologize.
Bear with us.
Yes. He put a tough math thing on the board outside. He's a professor at this college, and he put some tough math on the thing. I like how you said that. Yeah, the way that I refer to this going forward is I'm very proud of it.
He draw hard math.
He put a tough math thing on the board outside. Baby Matt Damon is Goodwill, and he's a janitor hunting for some math solutions. That might be my favorite sentence I've ever written. And see, this is the best part is that it's been so long since I wrote this that it's funny fresh now to me. Yeah, it's all new to me. It's like someone else wrote it.
Maybe this is how we should have done it this whole time.
Yeah, it was October 13th. Okay, here we go.
Oh my goodness.
Baby Matt Damon is Goodwill, and he's a janitor hunting for some math solutions. Will goes to the bar with his friend Ben Affleck, but he can't stop thinking
Marshall
about
died for me right
math. Now. What? What'd you say? What?
You just died, and now you're back.
Oh.
I was my Discord fricked up for your sake.
Oh,
sorry,
frick.
podcast.
Will goes to the bar with his friend Ben Affleck, but he can't stop thinking about math. So when nobody is around, he solves the math.
He's got an addiction to math.
He's a math cook. He's a math.
After his friends leave, he does math. When no one's looking, he does math. He doesn't want anyone to know that he does math.
Stellan Skarsgård finds out someone solved the big math, and he has to know who.
Dude, dude, I just want to see this movie done in the exact way that you're describing, but like seriously, somebody solved the big math.
I gotta turn a fan on. I'm gonna start sweating.
I think I might be peaking. I'm sorry, podcast. I'm just not on my game right now. Sorry, I'll do it this way. I solved big math.
Okay, here we go. The boys see the guys.
Wait, hold on. Envision like a serious version of that. Like, yeah. It's like the characters, but they're just going like, "Did somebody solve the big math?
Who did it? Who did the big math?
Where did the big math come from?
How did it fix it? Oh boy,
I didn't know how to fix that one."
So he tries to figure out who solved the math. He needs to know. If you hear my fan now, listeners, I'm sorry. It's really, really warm in here.
Discord is canceling it out for me.
Well, I mean, Audition isn't Discord, but whatever.
Oh, wait. I forgot.
The boys see the guys from the basketball game that they don't like, from the baseball game that they don't like, and they get out of the car and start a fight. The cops show up and they're arrested. Stellan tries to get the math genius to show himself in his class, but Will, of course, isn't there. They've put even bigger math on the board, and Stellan catches Will solving it, but Will gets away. The boys go to a Harvard bar, and Ben Affleck sees some babes. I put 4 A's. He goes to talk to them. There was 2, right? Because it's Minnie Driver and her friend.
Right.
He goes to talk to them, but long-hair, arrogant man. Oh, that's not a sentence, huh? He goes to talk to them, but long-hair, arrogant man
comes over
that's what
and
I wrote.
Tries to mess with them.
Yes, he spouts a lot of information, and Will embarrasses him with his big brain. The girl Ben Affleck wanted... Yes, he did. He really does, but a very likable Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
The girl Ben Affleck wanted to talk to comes over and gives Goodwill her number after he embarrasses the blonde guy. Stellan goes to find out who Will is by talking to the janitor king. He gets his name. Stellan goes to Will's arraignment and sees him defending himself like a professional lawyer. But he still gets time because of all the crimes that he's gotten off for before or whatever. I don't know. Stellan comes to the jail to see Goodwill. He's gotten the judge to release Goodwill under
he went
the
to
conditions.
Goodwill.
Yes. He's come to see Goodwill. He's gotten the judge to release Goodwill under the conditions that he meets with him every week to do cool math and to see a therapist.
To play cool math games and go talk about his feelings.
Essentially. I love like the little montages of them doing math and they're just like figuring it out and then they high five. They're like, we did the math so good. Like it's hilarious. Here Stellan and Goodwill form a math team and have fun doing math together. Oh man. Will goes to see the therapist he's assigned and he's a very prissy, classy Englishman kind of guy. Goodwill accuses him of being gay in order to get himself thrown out.
No, the guy was actually gay.
Well, how do we know that he's actually gay?
You can see it in his face. Like the point is that Will figured that out about him by looking in, like reading his books and stuff, and then he like hit his insecurity right away.
Interesting.
He hits the
I thought that it was just a guy who like was all uptight and classy, and he got offended at this.
No, so I think what it was trying to show there was that, because remember how, like at some point they're talking about like, do you have a book? Well, he's read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he figured that out about him, and then he used like his superior intelligence to figure that out, and then he hit him right in his insecurity. Well, he hit him right in his insecurity, so that way he didn't have to open up about himself. So as far as like the therapy side of it goes, that's my observation. Interesting.
Okay, I like that. Meanwhile, Stellan is telling Babes how sexy math is. It's so weird. It's so weird. He's like,
I wish you would have written every like summary like this. This is so entertaining.
It's very good. He's like, a theorem is so beautiful and erotic, and everybody loves it.
Ethereum is so much better than Bitcoin, bro.
Yeah,
that's how girls
so weird. But it's fine. Your video is weird now.
Yeah. Strange. Is it like, what's so weird about it?
It's like slightly behind. It's better now, almost. Talk again.
I think I had like a little bit of a lag spike on Wi-Fi, and I think I'm back now, so it should be getting better. I can rejoin if you need me to.
You should do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
Ayo.
Good enough. Okay.
Is that better?
I think it's better. Say something.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know where we were.
Okay, it's good. It's good. You're good. You look great.
I haven't stopped the recording or anything at any point during this, so they should still line up.
Okay. Goodwill goes to another therapist and messes around through this one too. Stellan can see that
messes around through this one.
Yes. Stellan can see that he isn't getting anywhere and calls in the ringer, his college roommate, Robin Williams. Stellan goes to meet Robin. Stellan tries to convince Robin to help Goodwill. Williams in this movie has cardigan game that I strive to achieve.
That's true.
Very good sweaters. I like them.
Yeah, I agree.
Stellan explains that Goodwill is a genius, and the only person that can help him is Robin, Batman's sidekick. Goodwill meets with Robin for the first time, and Robin excuses Stellan. Goodwill thinks he has Robin handled, but Robin has him at bay. But then he lets him know that his wife is a soft spot. Goodwill starts to go after the wife, and Robin gets him by the throat, literally. My throat is also giving me trouble suddenly. Whoa.
No COVID.
It's as though I was attacked by Robin Williams. He seems off-put after Goodwill leaves, but he still sets another meeting. Goodwill goes on a date with Skylar, the girl from before. It goes well. What a good time. Oh, boy. Next day, Goodwill meets with Sean, that's Robin Williams, and has him follow him out to a pond. Sean gives Goodwill a speech about how Goodwill has all the head knowledge but doesn't really have real experiences. It's really, really good. It's one of the iconic monologues of all time. The line that I specifically pulled out was, "You don't know anything about real loss because it only occurs when you love somebody more than you love yourself." And that's very good.
I think it speaks to a bigger thing that I was talking about with somebody today, which is you don't know what you don't know. And that's where arrogance comes in. So having the cognitive dissonance to understand that there are things that you don't understand is key when you're learning about yourself or learning about anything, or trying to set goals and whatever. I mean, there's just somebody is better than you. Somebody knows more than you. There are things that you won't understand unless you just do them. Like, I don't know what having a kid's like. I'm not gonna have a kid. I mean, out of my body at least.
That's true.
So you don't know. You don't know.
That you know about.
That's true. You don't know. You don't know. That's a good point.
Got him. That's my science.
Facts and knowledge.
Let's see. Sean and Goodwill meet and say nothing for the entire hour. They're both, kind of playing this game of, you talk first. Yeah. Next meeting, Will finally says something, and the men have a connection. Wow, very cool.
Oh, boy.
So, Sean has broken Goodwill's barrier, and Goodwill is starting to open up and talk. Will goes to see Skylar with a kind of determination to find something real after Sean's talk with him, his little speech and everything. Sean tells the baseball story, my favorite scene in the movie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Where he talks about the...
Gotta go see about a girl.
Exactly. Where him and his friends are at a bar. He had tickets to what apparently is the greatest World Series game of all time or whatever. And he talks through and this happened and that happened. And they're getting super excited about how the game was playing out one way or another. And Will's like, "Oh, man, I can't believe that you were there. That's insane." He said, "Well, I wasn't." He's like, "What? You had tickets and you didn't go? What happened?" It's like, "Well, I went and I met my wife." And it's like, wow.
My wife.
Crazy. My wife. Go to baseball, play the game, pastime of the USA. You walked into it. You told me to do it just now. It's your fault. Now Borat's on the podcast forever. Sacha Baron Cohen actually just entered the room. So yeah, and I noted specifically, I thought it was interesting, the set design. The set is organized as the four bases of a baseball diamond in that scene. And there's even an above the, an over the top camera shot that shows that off really well. And Robin Williams is running around the bases. It's really good. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much of that was actually scripted and how much was just Robin going.
That's probably down. That's probably not necessarily Robin Williams even 100%. That could be more of a director decision or even set design or
sure. Well, I just mean the way that he was playing that scene and everything. How much was him just being Robin Williams?
Right. I get that.
Yeah. Goodwill takes Skylar to
take a look at the beatus.
The
beatus. I'm gonna have to take a look at the beatus.
The beatus.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? What is beatus?
It's
diabetes?
Recorder digital, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Sam calls it.
So, Goodwill takes Skylar to meet his friends. Forget Robin Williams. Casey Affleck is the best. Casey Affleck is the best actor in this movie. He's very, very good. I read later that apparently, almost all of his dialogue was just improvised. He just came up with all of his dialogue on the spot.
Casey Affleck?
Yeah, Ben Affleck's little brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you not know that was his brother, Casey Affleck?
Did not know that.
The kind of smaller, wiry one that they're always beating up on.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, you were Casey Affleck. I think that's
probably me in that movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Stellan meets with Sean. Goodwill is getting huge job offers, but he's blowing them off. Goodwill and Skylar have a fight when she asks if he'll come to California with her. He blows up at her and storms out. Sean kicks Will out of the office after another bunch of prepared snarky remarks at Sean, trying to get him to be real and figure out what he wants him to do with his life. Did that make sense? Was that a sentence?
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Goodwill and Ben Affleck have a heart-to-heart. Ben tells him he owes him to take advantage of his potential because any one of the guys in where they're from, I think Southie, right, would do anything to be as good at cool math as him.
I think that's kind of cool. I really liked that scene. I mean, it just I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know what necessarily I quote unquote got from it, but I just really I enjoyed it. For some reason, I connected with that. I just I don't know. I liked it.
It's this weird thing of this strange dichotomy where he's not exactly agreeing with Stellan Skarsgård in this, where Stellan is all about he has to be the next Einstein and he's got responsibility with his brain, whereas Ben Affleck is saying generally the same thing, but he's saying there's responsibility because you have potential and you're not like us. You are able to get out of here. You're not like us where we're just stuck here for the rest of our lives. And there's nothing wrong with being here for the rest of our lives. But you aren't stuck in that like we are. And then when that kind of gets to the end, where he talks about every day I come to your house and I come to pick you up and I just hope that you don't answer the door and that it means that you've left and you've gotten out of there and you've gone on to be something greater. And which is such a beautiful thing. And it's continually baffling to me that they wrote this movie and they were our age.
I think maybe a lot of it seems you kind of do you can have other people tell you what to do and other people advise you on what to do and have other people who think they know what the best option is for you, but at the end of the day you only know the best option for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, spitting bars.
Which it took Goodwill a long time to get to that point. He had to have a lot of people push him in one direction for him to realize everything. But then ultimately still it was his decision what we eventually get to.
Right. Yeah.
Goodwill goes to see Sean and finds Sean and Stellan arguing about his future. Sean thinks that he should be able to do absolutely whatever he wants to regardless of anything, and Stellan says he has to be the new Einstein because he's so smart and good at hot sexy math. It turns me on how good at math Goodwill is. That's a direct quote from me. Wow. Sean and Will bond over their abusive fathers, and Sean tells Will that it wasn't his fault. Everything that happened in his childhood, everything that happened up to that point, everything that made him the way that he is, and everything like that. Goodwill breaks down, understanding that he doesn't have to carry all the guilt that he has. It's a very, very good scene. Will takes one of the jobs Stellan set up. His obligation to meeting with Sean is over, and they say a goodbye. They just said Will was 21. I'm the same age as Matt Damon is supposed to be in this movie. What the hell? Yeah, that's insane.
No, dude, it's that scene is so freaking good. I mean, it honestly, the feeling that it reminds me of. I don't know if we've talked about camp before on the podcast. I would assume we have.
Sunshine,
but it reminds me of just the bittersweet feeling of kind of the day that I left there, where it was this is a good thing, but it's over with, and it's that weird juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And both of those things also had a big, or not both of those things, but in the same way that that had an impact on my life kind of in the movie, this has an impact on his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
End of a chapter. That's the feeling.
A chapter, and almost the end of a movie. Sean is going off to travel for a while. Will drops a note at his house. We don't know what it says. Ben Affleck goes to pick up Will, like he does every day, and he isn't there. The note says Will has gone after Skylar, driving from Boston to California, which is...
Oh, God.
Yeah. I was like, oh...
Skylar better date the frick out of him.
Yeah, and maybe even... But, and he takes...
they get divorced.
He says the same thing that Robin Williams said. He says, I got to see you about a girl. If Stellan Skarsgård, famous actor Stellan Skarsgård, calls, tell him, I've got to see you about a girl. And Robin Williams ad-libs, kids stole my line. and it's a great little moment. And that's the end of the movie, is him in that crappy car driving from Boston to California.
I like how it doesn't end with it doesn't end really wrapped up. There's just a lot of questions, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think it's like I was saying, like it's a movie kind of just about the journey of life and maturing and, you know, and reaching out and embracing your potential and having the courage to do that and understanding like who you are, what you want, and that whole transition of life.
Well, one of the things that we had talked about after I had watched it again was like kind of the fact that it does in a way end fairly open-ended, and that if they wanted to make a sequel, like this is what happens with Will, and like he doesn't become the next Einstein.
So glad they didn't.
Or does he? Oh yeah, they should. I'm glad they didn't, and they should never do it. But like they absolutely could have. Of like, this is now he's in the big city and he's gonna get crazy. And they didn't do that.
But that's not what the movie's about. I think it's about a specific time in life, as that every person goes through, where, you know, he's not focused at the beginning of the movie, whereas at the end he has more goals and he's kind of acting on those goals. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's also interesting to look at the timeline of the movie. It all feels pretty quick, but what we got to realize is I think it's over a pretty significant amount of time.
It's a while.
Yeah, with therapy and stuff, and like with all of that, it kind of pinpoints how, you know, maybe 90% of the meetings nothing's going to happen, but in 10% maybe something does happen, you know, or you do have something that you understand. And I think it's a lot of life. Kind of like, you know, I mean, obviously that movie's like a highlight of the good parts of like the maturation process and the extremes. So a lot of it's a lot more mediocre, but you know, it's an interesting like insight into another person's view of like what this time of life is kind of about and like what to do about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
10 points.
And it also has some great acting in it. I thought it was shot very well. I really enjoyed the music.
Yeah.
It's just an all around good movie, I think.
The score is kind of its time, but I think it still works really well.
I just like it, you know? I mean, sure, it might be of its time. Whatever. I don't know. I just enjoyed listening to it. So that's what
no, it's good.
That's what I'm here to review.
I try to remember if it in my head, for some reason, I'm thinking that it was like kind of understated and like didn't really show up very often, but like that it was like very intentional when the music pops up. And maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. I don't remember. I've been watching a lot of Kurosawa movies, and he does that a lot. But
no music unless you're trying to unless you're storytelling. Don't use that music unless it serves the story.
Music is against the law. That's what I always say.
Music bad. Dude,
yeah, Robin Williams is amazing in this movie. I think this was his first, not his first dramatic role necessarily, but the first one that was like, oh, he's really good. He can do serious stuff.
Yeah, great performance. 100%.
Like, what a loss that man. I mean, he wouldn't be that old probably. He'd be like probably mid-50s right now.
Yeah.
Late 50s.
It's pretty unfortunate.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
we get
ironic,
baby
right?
Baby Matt Damon.
It's almost like that movie might be so impactful because it's about, you know, real experiences with the performance of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And he probably had real, you know, things to draw on for that situation and understood like the dynamics of it.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about Good Will Hunting and how cool math is.
Ah, man. I don't know. Makes me feel bad for not having a girlfriend. I mean, look at that movie. What the whoops. What the frick? Beep.
Nice. I don't know. I think it's
time code on that is like an hour and 2 minutes.
Hour and 2 minutes, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
But yeah. Well, we broke an hour, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't have much to say off the top of my head. I guess we didn't really rewatch it recently, and I feel like
that's the problem. It's been so long.
Well, yeah, but also like as we went through, I think I kind of talked about the things that I thought were interesting, like when you were going through those scenes. So
yeah.
No, I mean, I think. So I guess do we get to the yes, no, or a conclusion, or
Good Will Hunting, yes or no?
What are your I mean, I'll go over just my overall thoughts on it. I mean, like I said, I think just all put together, it's a great movie from how it was shot, written, and directed. And I think it's just like a really interesting story. And it was told in a very good way, a good Will Hunting way. And, you know, for me, it's definitely yes. It's all-time favorite.
Wow. Top 5?
Definitely not like favorite, but like like all time good. Probably.
So you hate it?
Maybe like top 10. Maybe like top 10.
Okay. So you don't like it very much.
Maybe I don't know, or to like 5. I don't. It's just hard. I want to. I feel like there's other movies that could be better, but it's really good.
Like Star
really
Wars:
like
The Last
things.
Jedi.
Yes, true. Such a good movie.
Far superior.
And if you want to find out more, listen to episode 1.
The Last Jedi. That's Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
That was Rise of Skywalker.
Never mind. Oh.
We probably bring it up. I don't know. It's been a while.
Star Wars.
It's been a while.
Well, listen, how about I was pranking him. I just made him go listen to episode 1.
Ah, dang it! You pranked us.
So now they're gonna watch more of the podcast.
Oh no!
I got you guys. Look at me looking in the camera. I'm breaking the fourth wall. How about that?
Oh, that's pretty crazy. I give it a yes. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you froze for a second. Are you gonna come back? Is everything fine? Oh, I think you're good. Talk to me.
What's up? I was just trying to give a fun little camera angle.
Oh. I think when you go nice stat mode, there's too much for the camera to process.
That's weird. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, it's like the artifacting and everything when there's more like things happening on screen.
Oh, you mean to compress? Okay.
Yeah. That's not.
I was like, why would my camera change any settings?
There we go. Now it's back. Now it's back.
Interesting. Well, I guess don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the constantly changing lights. I think confuse it slightly.
No, I think it makes sense.
Like just use the same.
This is nothing. Rate is low.
This is nothing. Time for IMDb trivia.
Go for it. Hit me with a hard trivia.
There's some really good IMDb trivia for this movie. This is a good one. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck found a clever way to choose the right studio for their script. The story goes that on page 60 of the script, they wrote a completely out-of-nowhere sex scene between Will and Chucky, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's characters. They took it to every major studio, and nobody even mentioned the scene. When they met with Harvey Weinstein at Miramax, he said, "I only have one really big note on the script. About page 60, the two leads, both straight men, have a sex scene. What the hell is that?" Damon and Affleck explained that they'd put that scene specifically in there to show them who actually read the script and who didn't. As Weinstein was the only person who brought it up, Miramax was the studio chosen to produce the film. So yeah, the Weinstein thing is, it's Harvey Weinstein, whatever. But what a great, stupid idea that ended up working, I guess, because they chose the right people and made the right movie that they wanted to make.
Seems smart, yeah.
After the 2014 death of Robin Williams, the Boston Public Garden Park bench, where he and Matt Damon had their conversation scene, became an impromptu memorial site for the actor. People left flowers, quotes, and various items at the bench. A petition had been passed around to erect a statue in Williams' memory near the bench. I don't think that ever happened, but it'd be really cool if they just put a statue of him on the bench. There.
That would be pretty insane.
That'd be great. I mean, Philadelphia has a statue of Rocky at the top of the Philadelphia steps.
Yeah, true.
A fictional character. Their favorite native son isn't a real person. And he gets a statue.
True. Yep.
Whatever. The line, and this is fairly well known, but the lines in the scene when Sean talks about his late wife's farting antics were ad-libbed by Robin Williams. That's why Matt Damon was laughing so hard. If you watch the scene carefully, you can notice the camera shaking a bit, possibly due to the cameraman laughing as well.
Me?
Yeah, exactly. You remember? I brought this up recently. Remember when we shot
I know exactly what we were going to bring
up. The Batman in the shower scene?
Yep. I love that I still have that footage.
Do you?
I sent it to you guys a while back.
Yes!
Yeah, I sent it to you guys a while back.
We need to show Jeffrey because I mentioned that at one point.
Oh my goodness.
It's something about... We were talking about Batman and how he just never takes off the mask and how he probably showers in just the mask. And I was like, there's definitely footage somewhere of me doing exactly that. And they were all like,
Marshall
what?
In the shower with, I can get you that footage.
Yeah, I had a towel.
And so what's funny about it though, is that I couldn't stop laughing, no matter what. And so at some point in the video, you can just hear our good friend David Spear being like, Ben, get out!
Yeah, it's get out of here. And then even when you walked away, The moment that like it was when I opened the shower curtain too. I think it was just that noise of all of
it was just everything worked together. It was like the payoff of like sitting there waiting, and then you just like, because it was like a solid 30 seconds every time, and then you just go like vroom, and you were like humming like the Batman theme or something, or like Here Comes the Sun.
Yeah, both of those.
It's so good. That was so good.
Classic. We gotta put that on the internet.
I'm down.
When Matt Damon and Ben Affleck met with Mel Gibson, Braveheart had just come out, but they hadn't seen Braveheart, and Harvey Weinstein encouraged them to lie. So the first thing they said was, "We want to just tell you how much we loved Braveheart." It's like, that's not okay. Good job, guys. Great job. After one more. After Matt Damon and Ben Affleck sold their script to Castle Rock, it was printed in Daily Variety that they were going to get $600,000 for it. By using a copy of the Daily Variety, because Ben Affleck and Damon had no credit at the time, they rented a house that was $3,000 a month using this article.
That's really insane.
Yeah.
All right.
It's crazy. They were like, check this out. This is us. Like, oh, right. Okay. That's some collateral, I guess.
Right. That makes sense. That's pretty cool.
That is IMDb trivia. And that's what I have to say about that. So, Ben, what have you been doing, watching, checking out, looking at, reading?
Well, we've both been watching The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good. Season 2, episode 1. Spoiler alert for that. Let's just talk about it, because you had a spoiler alert, and I've given you extra time now by doing this.
Yes.
So if you get it spoiled, then it's your own fault at this point. Anyways, really good. They Boba Fett back. I'm excited about that.
Boba Fett.
So I think in canon, the Fetts are not Mandalorian.
They are not. They currently still are supposedly not, because they say in the Clone Wars, oh, but Jango Fett is just some common thug.
Yeah.
I have no idea where he got that armor.
And that was put in specifically because of George Lucas.
Yeah. Classic George.
But I love the Legends version of Fett so much. It's so perfect. And then it explains everything.
The current canon just kind of turns him into a bumbling oaf again, because all of the media that we have of him is him just getting beat up by anybody. So we see him just lucking into being the one at Bespin who gets Han Solo. And, Darth Vader does most of the work in the first place. So we have that. And then all the other things that we get to see him do in canon are die at the hands of a blind man.
Yeah.
Han Solo is like blind. He's going, Boba Fett! Where? And then he turns around and slaps him in the jetpack, and he goes flying into the Sarlacc pit, which doesn't kill him, I guess, ultimately. But then in the comics, then, he showed up at one point because Darth Vader finds out that Luke exists, is one of the first things that happens in the comics that start immediately after A New Hope. And he's like, I'm going to track down this guy. I know that he... this is the pilot who blew up the Death Star. There's something weird about him. He's got force sensitivity. I'm going to get him, and I'm going to take him down or something. So he hires Boba Fett to go and get him. So Boba tracks him to Obi-Wan's house, where he's like reading Obi-Wan's journal, and he's like reading all these stories or whatever, and Luke just like beats him up. Yeah. This like kid who has no training whatsoever, and he just beats up Boba Fett, and he's like, dang it. Whoops. And then he goes back to Darth Vader and he's like, I didn't get him, but his name is Luke Skywalker. And Darth Vader's like, Gah! But that's after he leaves the room. It's actually a really cool moment in the comics where it's just
I know exactly. I've actually seen. I've seen it
back there.
I have seen the comic that you're talking about.
It's very.
Anyways,
good.
So Mandalorian, very good. I'm very excited to see what they do with good old Boba Fett. Maybe he doesn't get fricked up this time.
Yeah, especially with Tamura Morrison back. It'll be interesting to see what kind of physicality he has.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, honestly. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
He was Aquaman's father in Aquaman, and he was Moana's father in Moana.
Wow.
That's all I can think of.
Now he's the Mandalorian's father.
Yes, he is. Wow.
Yep.
Man, Timothy Oliphant looks really goofy in that armor. Like, because he's such a tall man. Yeah. And Jeremy Bulloch, the original Boba Fett, was not.
No, yeah. I kind of like that detail though. It makes it feel more like this wasn't supposed to be for him.
Yeah, like it's the right size.
I mean? Yeah,
it's the wrong size because it's the right size.
Yeah. Well, and also that means that it's Durasteel though, with the dent in the helmet at least.
I mean,
and it's not Beskar.
Not Beskar. It's which is so. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, because like
it's whatever. You know what? We're gonna
armor
find out.
Doesn't have to be Beskar. Like that's the good stuff. It's still Mandalorian armor. Is the thing.
It is.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what kind of conflict comes up there, especially because like.
Yeah.
There's still going to be planet hopping. So is he going to follow him somehow, or is this next episode still going to still be Tatooine? Or
when does it come out?
Fridays, every Friday. So I guess 2 a.m. on next Thursday.
Let's go.
Or this Thursday.
We got to stay up again.
What's today? Yeah, this Thursday.
Today's Tuesday, so we're going to be able to see it in 2 days.
There you go.
It'll be fun.
And then,
anyways,
I thought it was an interesting detail. We get to see like the Mando like slaps the jetpack and he goes flying. So
yeah,
it's like,
that was funny.
It continues to act that way. And then I saw a video today that pointed out that we get to see it get damaged for the first time in Attack of the Clones. Because when he's fighting Obi-Wan,
Windu,
he comes at him and he just jetpacks away. And that's how he survives that fight.
Yeah.
But when he fights Mace Windu, he's gotten run over by that big beast that Anakin's riding, and you can see the sparks fly. So then when Mace Windu comes at him...
he triggers it.
Yeah, he's about to do the same move, but it doesn't work. And then Mace Windu cuts his head off.
It makes me feel so much better about that scene because it just feels so like, wait a minute, the biggest, baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy just gets chopped up by Mace Windu.
Yeah, it's just a man running towards him.
Yeah, no Jedi anything. So it's just, there's literally an equipment malfunction. Otherwise, Jango might have just dinked on Mace.
Jango might have janked up Mace. Might have janged him.
Yeah.
Jenga.
Might have janged him.
He might have.
Yeah, the Mandalorians,
knocked down his battleship.
Before even the Mandalorian itself, they're probably my favorite Star Wars thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What have I been watching? Well, I've been binging The West Wing.
Playing.
Which is...
I can confirm.
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's a great show. It's interesting because it started in 1999 when we were still in the Clinton administration, the tail end of it, and then we started to get into the Bush years. So it kind of... And in the show, it's a Democratic candidate who's in the White House. Jed Bartlett is a Democrat. And it's this weird thing where, like, first of all, it's wild looking at what was liberal back then because it seems so conservative. Like, not the way that it is now, because now people have like gotten so extreme. Like, if you're going to be conservative, you have to be intensely conservative. If you're going to be liberal, you have to be intensely liberal. Otherwise, you're not a person anymore. You're not valid, except for Joe Biden, who's basically a conservative liberal. But that's not what this podcast is about. It's election day.
True. It is election day.
But that's kind of actually what I was going to talk about, is that I just happened to yesterday get to the episode where they're reelected. Yeah, so it was like, this is weirdly timely, because like they're all going and casting their votes and everything, and they've been campaigning super intensely. It's like, as I've been watching the show, it's been parallel to real life events this entire time. Cool. Legit, when I started watching the show, one of the first thing that happens is they're trying to confirm a Supreme Court judge. And that was exactly what was just starting to kick up in the mainstream media. I was like, what is going on? It was matching up really bizarrely accurately. It was like Simpsons level stuff. It was so weird. But then Mando, I wrote that down as well. It was Halloween the other day, so I watched the first It movie and most of the second one. I need to finish it.
A lot of kids.
Nice. Ooh. Hey, what? What, Ben?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. But people say that the second It movie isn't very good. I like it a lot more than the first one, honestly. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I haven't finished it.
Maybe you are.
So we'll see.
It's a good chance.
I feel like, though, without the first one, the second one wouldn't work. It very directly leads into it and also flashes back to it quite a bit.
Right.
But I like it a lot. I think all the adult versions of the kids are cast like absolutely perfectly. It's kind of wild how well they act these parts. But it's great. I watched a movie called Three Kings, which is kind of a weird comedy drama critique of the Gulf War, with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg and Ice Cube and Spike Jonze, director Spike Jonze, in his first acting role.
Nice.
And it's pretty good for what it is. It starts out very like kind of weirdly goofy and silly because they've just declared the ceasefire, and then these guys go out on this like basically AWOL mission, and they eventually become good guys throughout this. It's worth watching. I don't think it's incredible, but it's interesting for what it is. And George Clooney's just really enjoyable to watch.
Right.
We've been playing a lot of Rocket League lately, which has been
dude, I made plat
good.
and ones.
Hey, nice. I want to watch you
of
play Sam, because Sam plays a lot of ones.
Oh god,
That's
I'm
Bean
gonna
Lord.
get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, Bean Lord?
Yeah.
Oh.
From the coffee place.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I doubt I'm gonna do very well against him.
Yeah.
I would say I could be competitive, but I don't know if I would win.
An exhibition match, I would watch it. I'd bet $1.
I'd say I'd be competitive. You know what I mean? If I could be competitive, I'd be happy.
Yeah. We'll see how you do against Blake. Blake is like ultra all-star. It's ridiculous. We still haven't played with him. I think he's still in the server. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll have to do that sometime. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we've been getting into Rocket League. I want to start streaming again at some point. I feel like Rocket League would be a good start since I don't have the second computer.
Definitely.
We'll see if I can contain my rage for a live stream. But
True.
Rocket League makes me angry.
That game is not a lot of rational thought happens.
Call of Duty doesn't get me mad. Rocket League destroys me because I know that I'm pretty good at Rocket League. And I'm pretty good at Call of Duty, but for some reason it just doesn't like upset me when I lose this much. I don't know.
Right.
It's a lot easier to make really simple mistakes as opposed to the circumstances being the problem, like in COD. Because in COD there's usually
COD is a
things.
little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
And it's also like a variety.
It's
so,
much
when you've
more
made the
like
same
the
mistake
environment
20 times in a row. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. True.
You're not like whiffing
and
a shot.
And the games are shorter. Yeah, the games are shorter, I think. So like
that's true.
You're like there's less time to mess up.
Yeah. And I got one more thing that I'm about to start reading that I'm very excited about. Well, I've been reading the current Batman book that's being written by James Tynion IV, and it's very good. They just wrapped up a story arc, and it was fine, but they're actually doing something new and different with the book, which is kind of wild, which is exciting.
Very nice.
The thing that I'm excited about right now is Tom King is an amazing, prolific writer. He used to work for like the CIA. He was a sheriff in Iraq during, I think, I don't remember if it was the Gulf War or if it was the War on Terror, that one, the post 9/11, that whole deal. And he was a sheriff in Iraq of a whole like area and everything. So he wrote a book that's like semi-autobiographical called Sheriff of Babylon. This is supposed to be really, really good, and I haven't read it, but I really want to. And he's just incredible. He wrote a book called Mr. Miracle. He's like, basically he's insanely good, and everything he touches turns to gold. And he's doing a series right now that's kind of in the vein of Mr. Miracle, who's a very kind of niche DC character. And he did this book that brought him to the forefront and revolutionized the character, and it was amazing. It won awards. I've got it back there. It's 100% worth a read. He's doing the same thing for another lesser-known DC character called Adam Strange right now, a book called Strange Adventures. That is a very thinly veiled critique of the Iraq War, of this whole thing of these guys go in and like we have a very clear enemy. We know exactly what we're trying to do, but then at what point, like, and I guess it kind of leans also towards the Gulf War as well, where it's very much like, who is the good guy even at this point? Because we're going in and doing stuff that isn't that ethical at a certain point. And that's kind of what this book is all about, of just like, this is the cover by Mitch Gerard. Adam Strange is told that there's this like horrible war that's happening, this horrible conflict, and it's very like good versus evil, and he goes to Earth and he's like, Batman, Superman, Justice League, I need you guys to come and help me. And everyone's like, well, we don't really want to get involved with intergalactic conflict. And Batman says, well, listen, I'll join you, but I want someone to investigate what's actually going on and everything. So he gets Mr. Terrific to go and do that, and he's also revolutionizing that character. And it's this whole thing of like, is he being misled, and what's the actual reality of this situation? Is he seeing it from his bias? And like, it's just, I haven't even started reading it, but everything that I've read about it is just that it's like as good, if not better than Mr. Miracle. So I'm super excited about it. There's 2 artists on the book that are Mitch Gerard and Doc Shaner, who have very opposite styles, but it really leans into like what the book's about, because Mitch Gerard has a very like rough and like stylized look, and Doc Shaner has a very like idealized and just beautiful style. So you get that kind of dichotomy of those 2 perspectives. And
right.
Man, it's just, both these guys are my favorite artists. They're incredible. So I'm really excited to start reading this. I bought the first 6 issues, which is all that's out, and I'm going to read it, and it's going to be great. But that's what I've been reading. That's what I've been listening to. That's what I've been doing.
There you go.
So before we do our socials, there's a reason this episode is special. And
there's a special episode.
This is a special episode.
It's a little bit different.
Yes, and I know you didn't want to address it that much, if at all, but I want to bring it up. And that is that the podcast name is staying the same, but we are swapping out one of the hosts, and that is...
You guess who?
Is it... So the name is changed?
It's
Ben.
me, guys. It's me.
It's Ben.
But it would still be Ben in my seat, you know?
Yeah. So, basically, I just want to bring it up because, like, our few listeners, I don't want it to be a thing where they're like, are they friends? Did something happen? It's like, no, like, there's nothing.
No,
like, we're good. Everything's chill. We still live together for however long.
Right. Mostly for me, it was like, I just feel like, you know, it'd be better to have somebody else in here who's a bit more familiar with like movies and stuff like that. And also I started a new job, which when we started the podcast, I didn't have, and now I do. So I have a few more responsibilities as far as like production and stuff goes. So it's been hard for us to find an hour and a half of our time that like lines up for us to like record a podcast consistently. So,
and then
you know,
2 to 3 hours to watch a movie at some point during the week.
Right. Yeah, every week. Right. So, you know, obviously I think from what it'll look like is I'll still be, if we're doing streams and stuff, I'll be playing games and videos and stuff. You might see me there. So, you know, I'm still like, I'm not like not a part of it, but I'm not a part of the podcast. I'm still part of the Scub-Doo army or whatever though.
Yeah, the great Scub-Doo, the great nation of Scub-Doo.
The great Scub-Doo.
I don't know if I'm going to continue using that. I might be pivoting from that somehow, depending on what happens. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening. If you have listened to me in the past, I don't know, 16 episodes, listen to my rambles, my critiques, my ideas.
Yeah.
Appreciate you supporting the podcast, and hopefully you continue to support it, even though, you know, I mean, your favorite host probably left, but whatever.
Well, in Ben's place, we are getting another Ben.
That's
our good
true.
friend.
We did find a replacement Ben.
Yes, mostly because I didn't want to make a new email, so now it can remain benandmarshall@gmail.com. But
that's perfect.
Yeah, so I've got Ben Herbal, our good friend, coming in. He's super excited. He isn't like super well versed in movies necessarily, but he loves watching and learning.
Right.
So it'll be a good time, and we have a really good like back and forth energy that I feel like will play really well. It'll be a really good time.
Yeah,
and,
I'd rather she see a cool thing happen than, you know, not be 100% in, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So again, literally nothing bad necessarily, just different, and I think it's gonna be better in the long run for you guys.
Yeah, and Ben, I've gotten you a gift.
Oh boy.
Because it's
is it a GIF or a GIF?
It's a with a G. Because I asked you what your favorite movie that we watched on the show was, and I got it for you on Blu-ray. Welcome.
Oh
it's
my
The Godfather.
God! Oh no! I have that on.
You have it on DVD.
Definition.
You have it on DVD. I know, but that's why I got a Blu-ray. I know that you have the trilogy on DVD.
Okay, I'm glad that you knew that.
Yes, so I got it on Blu-ray, and I also got you
great.
a movie that you haven't seen yet, The Godfather Part 2. On Blu-ray.
In Blu-ray, so now I can watch it in Blu-ray.
There you go. So it's like a higher definition, and it's very nice. It's still got the plastic on it. The Godfather Part 2 is also very, very good. I'm a huge fan of that movie. A lot of people would say it's even better than the first one. I don't know. I think they're about even.
I'm excited to try it out in HD.
I considered getting you a box set, and then I decided that you shouldn't watch The Godfather Part 3. And then I remembered that Francis Ford Coppola is releasing his director's cut of The Godfather Part 3 later this year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look at that.
So,
that'll be a fun little project.
Yeah, you can come back on the show for an episode.
I didn't get you a present, but I'll buy you Taco Bell sometime. How about that?
Great. I'm trying to cut down.
I also got you a pork chop. That's
good enough for me. That's cool. That's great.
All right, cool.
When I leave the podcast, then you can get me a gift.
It's been a pleasure. Oh, sounds good. I'll do that.
Cool. Well, that's pretty much the show. I'm mparish_art on Instagram, Scubdo Draws on Facebook, Marshall Parrish on Patreon, The Great Scubdo on YouTube, as well as on Twitch. I think I'm also The Great Scubdo. Might start doing some Rocket League streams. Might get back into Call of Duty at some point. Don't know. But yeah, where can people find you, Benji?
You can find me if you want to keep track of me. Maybe you can find me at Ben with the Lens on Instagram. It's kind of spelled weird. Don't worry about it. If you see a picture of me, then that's it. Other than that, you can connect with me on Twitter at Ben Earl Weber. I don't know. I don't really have any other social medias. TikTok, I think it's still Ben Earl Weber as well. I don't know. Figure it out. If you want to, you will.
That's what I always say. Well, that's been the show. I've been Marshall.
And I've been.
The show is over. It is done. I have had a little bit of fun.
Yeah. My name is...
No, it's over.
Okay.